Our story begins in a quiet riverside village, a place shadowed by an old and terrifying legend. The people there believe that something ancient and evil lives beneath the surface of the river, a dark, hungry spirit that pulls the living down into its depths. Children are warned never to go near the water's edge, and adults speak of it only in hushed, fearful voices. One afternoon, a young girl is playing close to the riverbank when her father rushes over and pulls her back. He warns her sternly, "Stay away from that water, or the spirit will take you." The girl stares out at the still, dark surface, her young mind turning the warning over and over. Could something truly be hiding beneath those calm waters? Her father, wanting to lighten the mood, wades in himself, partly to tease her, partly to show her there is nothing to fear. She screams, convinced the monster has him, seeing her in tears. He starts splashing round and pulling funny faces, calling out to her with a laugh, "See, I'm perfectly fine, little one." The girl's fear melts into laughter. But the very next moment, something beneath the surface locks onto her father and drags him under with terrifying speed. He never comes back up. The legend is real. And the devil of the river has just claimed another soul. Time passes. And a priest arrives in the village carrying the body of an enormous fish he has pulled from the river. He holds it up before the gathered crowd and proclaims with great confidence that he has slain the river devil. The beast is dead, he declares. The village is free. The people celebrate, ready to believe the nightmare is finally over. But one young man refuses to accept this. His name is Shen Chong, and he stands before everyone and tells them plainly, that fish is not the devil. The real creature is still alive, still lurking in those waters. The priest, furious and humiliated, turns the crowd against him. He demands that the people bind Shen Chong with rope and hang him for insulting a holy man. And the crowd, blinded by relief and trust in the priest, does exactly that. Believing themselves safe, the villagers flood joyfully into the river. Children splash, families laugh, and the fear of generations seems to wash away in a single afternoon. But Shen Chong, hanging helplessly from a tree, can see what they cannot. Something enormous is moving just beneath the surface. Gliding silently toward the unsuspecting crowd, he screams at the top of his lungs, "Get out of the water, the devil is coming." But nobody listens. They're too deep in their celebration to hear the warning of a man they have already dismissed as a fool. The creature strikes without mercy. And within moments the joyful scene turns into chaos and carnage. People scramble for the shore, screaming and running for their lives, in a desperate attempt to buy them time. Shen Chong shouts at everyone to go completely still, to drop to the ground and pretend to be dead. If the creature believes no living souls remain, it may retreat. Most of the survivors listen this time, lying motionless on the riverbank. But the little girl from the opening of our story, the same child who lost her father to this very monster, cannot stay still. She spots her mother across the chaos and runs for her. Others reach out to stop her, but she breaks free and races forward. The water devil emerges and seizes her, pulling her toward the deep. Her mother, screaming with rage and despair, throws herself into the river to save her daughter. Several villagers dive in after her. None of them are fast enough. The devil takes the girl. And then it takes the mother too, an entire family, erased, before another child can be swept away. Shen Chong breaks free from the rope binding him and rushes in. He manages to pull the child to safety with nothing but his bare hands. In a frantic and desperate move, he even grabs the priest and uses him as leverage to try and drag the creature from the water. Shen Chong understands something crucial. This devil is nearly impossible to fight on its own territory. The only way to defeat it is to force it onto dry land. He jumps onto a wooden track with the priest at his side, both of them straining with everything they have, but the beast is immense and pulls them back hard. Then a powerfully built woman from the village charges forward and throws her full weight onto the track, and together they heave the devil upward as it breaks the surface. The creature twists and transforms, rising up into a terrifying half-human, half-demonic form. The villagers are ready to tear it apart, but Shen Chong holds them back. He announces that he is a trained expert in capturing demons, and that this one belongs to him. He opens his books and begins reciting special incantations, nursery rhymes, each one written specifically to subdue dark spirits. But instead of weakening the devil, the rhymes seem to enrage it. It lunges at Shen Chong, out of control and more dangerous than ever, just as it is about to overwhelm him. A young woman named Duan arrives on the scene. She moves differently from Shen Chong, faster, more physical, and utterly fearless. Where he uses words and knowledge, she uses raw power. She hammers the devil with crushing blows, lifts it clean off the ground, and hurls it with tremendous force. She then opens a glowing magical bag and draws the creature inside, sealing it and reducing it to the size of a helpless puppet. With the river demon defeated, the villagers erupt in relief and gratitude, though notably, they direct their thanks entirely at Tuan. She turns to Shen Chong with a raised eyebrow and asks where exactly he learned to fight demons. He shows her his books. She laughs, genuinely, warmly, but without holding back. Those books, she tells him, are nursery rhyme collections for children. They were never meant to subdue real demons. No wonder he keeps failing. She shows him her magical bag, gives him a knowing look, and walks away, troubled and humbled. Shen Chong returns to his master and recounts everything. His master listens carefully and then reveals something unexpected. The river devil was once a human being, a good and decent man who, one day, spotted a child drowning and dove in to save the child's life. The villagers who witnessed it misread the situation completely. They assumed he was trying to harm the child, dragged him out of the water, and killed him without asking a single question. His broken, Ron's spirit sank to the bottom of the river and transformed over the years into something monstrous. Shen Chong is shaken. He asks his master whether his nursery rhyme books hold any real power at all. His master responds with a question of his own. Why do you ask? Shen Chong admits that he wants to defeat demons the way other hunters do. His master shakes his head. Killing a demon is never the highest path, he says. A person of genuine goodness has the power to redeem even the most twisted soul, to turn a devil into something better than an angel. The day will come, his master promises, when Shen Chong will understand just how powerful those 300 rhymes truly are. The story now shifts to a remote restaurant deep in the jungle. A couple arrives as night falls and finds the place empty except for a single attendant who greets them warmly and leads them to a table, the restaurant's specialty. The attendant explains with pride, is an extraordinary roasted pork dish, the finest preparation they will ever taste. The couple eats and cannot stop praising the food. The attendant smiles and tells them it is not his work, but his master's, and without warning the master appears, not in human form, but in the shape of a monstrous demon. The couple scrambles to flee, and in their panic they look back at the dishes they were eating and realize with horror that the meat was never pork at all. The demon kills them both. Word of the restaurant reaches Shen Chong, and he arrives to investigate. A young woman at the door greets him with the same polished speech about the roasted pork speciality. But Shen Chong has heard enough. He looks round quietly, sees the evidence of those who never made it out, and tells the woman calmly that her act is finished. He knows exactly what this place is. The woman drops the pretense and strikes. Shen Chong barely has time to react before Dwan appears again, cutting through the attack before it lands. She dispatches the woman, and then more demonic figures emerge from the shadows of the restaurant. Each one dealt with swiftly and decisively as Dwan moves through them with her magical bangle blazing. Then the real owner of the restaurant, the most powerful of them all, steps forward. Dwan engages it in brutal combat, beats it back, pins it down, and instructs Shen Chong to draw the evil essence directly out of its throat. He does. Together they manage to seal the demon inside the bag, but the creature forces itself free in a new and even more dangerous form, erupting as a monstrous wild boar, a big demon of enormous power. The two of them turn and run. As they catch their breath, Shen Chong thanks Dwan for saving his life, somewhere in the chaos and the adrenaline. Dwan realizes she has developed feelings for him and begins finding excuses to stay close. Shen Chong, focused entirely on his mission, keeps deflecting the next morning. He brings the matter of the pig demon to his master. His master explains its origin. The creature was once a man of decent character, but unfortunate appearance. His wife had been carrying on an affair, and together with her lover she murdered him. His rage and betrayal corrupted him from the inside out until nothing human remained. Shen Chong asks how such a demon can be captured and controlled. His master says there is only one entity powerful enough to handle it, the Monkey King, an immensely powerful demon. One so dangerous that Buddha himself imprisoned him inside a mountain over 500 years ago. He is ancient, filled with bitterness and hatred after centuries of confinement. But, the master adds, he is not beyond reason. Approach him with patience, wisdom, and genuine goodness, and he may agree to help. Shen Chong sets off for the mountain his master described. He has barely begun walking when a trap snaps shut round his ankle and he finds himself hanging upside down from a tree. A group of people surrounds him and informs him that they make a habit of capturing demon hunters. Dwan and her companions appear, and one of the captors demands to know if Shen Chong is also in the demon hunting business, before Shen Chong can answer. Dwan steps forward and announces cheerfully that the two of them are married and that Shen Chong is simply here trying to win back her favor after a quarrel. The group is skeptical and tells them that if they truly are husband and wife, they should prove it with an embrace. Dwan turns to Shen Chong and tells him through clenched teeth that if a hug is the price of their freedom, he should just do it. Shen Chong refuses, and Dwan's cover story collapses. He pieces it together quickly. The whole ambush was staged by Dwan and her friends, engineered so she could maneuver herself closer to him. He confronts her, furious, and walks away. Dwan, embarrassed and still stubborn, asks her friends for advice on how to make Shen Chong notice her. One of them places an enchanted stick on Dwan and begins moving, with Dwan mirroring every gesture. Intending to learn a graceful, charming routine, Dwan instead mimics a full-force fighting sequence and ends up battering Shen Chong completely by accident. Her plan achieves the opposite of what she intended. The pig demon reappears. Closing in fast on a vehicle carrying Dwan's group, the beast slams into the car with devastating force. Dwan shoves Shen Chong clear and they both leap free. But the impact throws Dwan hard and she loses consciousness. Shen Chong crouches over her, convinced for a long moment that she is gone. He holds her hand. In that quiet and unexpected grief, realizes that everything she ever said about her feelings for him was real. Then Dwan opens one. I grins, and tells him she knew all along that he loved her too. He insists he does not. 3 other demon hunters who had been pursuing the pig demon arrive and attack. They fight well, but spend more time arguing with each other about who is the most skilled than actually defeating the creature. Shen Chong cuts through the bickering and reminds them that their individual pride means nothing. They are all capable, and their strength lies in working together rather than competing. Duan asks Shen Chong one final time what he truly thinks of her. His answer is blunt. She distracts him, he says. She follows him everywhere, shows up without warning, and pulls him off course from the only thing he is trying to do. He does not want her nearby. Duan says nothing. She reaches out, takes his nursery rhyme books, and tears them in half. Then she walks away. Shen Chong picks up the pieces without a word and keeps going. He arrives at the mountain his master described, but no cave is visible anywhere. He sits down, closes his eyes, and focuses all of his attention on Buddha. Gradually, as his mind stills, the cave reveals itself. He enters and finds the Monkey King, ancient, powerful, and sharp-eyed even after centuries of imprisonment. They speak for a while, and eventually Shen Chong asks his question. How does one capture the pig demon? The Monkey King's answer is simple. Bring a beautiful woman as bait. Draw the pig demon here, and leave the rest to him. At that very moment, Duan appears at the entrance of the cave. Shen Chong stares. She tells him she knew he would need her. She heard every word, and with a calm smile. She offers herself for the role. The plan works. The pig demon arrives and the Monkey King seizes it, compressing it down into a small, harmless creature. Duan captures it further, sealing it inside her magic bag and reducing it to a puppet that she places in Shen Chong's hands. Then she slips her magical bangle off her wrist, shapes it into a ring, and slides it gently onto Shen Chong's finger. It is her way of proposing, wordlessly, quietly, without pressure. Shen Chong looks at it for a moment. Then he slides it back off and returns it to her. He is not ready. His path leads somewhere else. Duan nods and says she understands. She will not follow him again. She puts the ring away and leaves without looking back. Shen Chong turns to go, but before he does, the Monkey King calls after him. He asks quietly whether it is a moonlit night outside. Shen Chong confirms that it is. The Monkey King tells him, with great sadness in his voice, that he has not seen a moonlit night in hundreds of years, and that there is a flower at the entrance of the cave that, if removed, would lift the seal Buddha placed on him and allow him to step outside just for a moment. Shen Chong, moved by compassion, removes the flower without thinking twice. It immediately bursts into flame, and the curse shatters. The Monkey King steps out of the cave in his true form, massive, ancient, crackling with power that has been building for 5 centuries. He looks at Shen Chong with something close to amusement. You are easier to trick than I expected. He says, how does a demon hunter fall for something so simple? Shen Chong replies steadily that the Monkey King should not celebrate too quickly, because Buddha is still present. The Monkey King reacts with instant fury at the name. Shen Chong closes his eyes and meditates, and the Monkey King tears at him, trying to break his concentration, but Shen Chong holds his faith. Completely still, nothing the Monkey King does can reach him. The 3 demon hunters arrive and launch a combined assault. They fight with everything they have, but the Monkey King brushes them aside one by one as if they were nothing. He turns on Shen Chong with lethal intent. Then Duan arrives, the woman who said she would not follow him again. She stands between Shen Chong and the Monkey King and demands to know how he dares to lay a hand on him. They fight, and this time Duan faces something beyond her power. The Monkey King strikes her down and throws her broken body toward Shen Chong. She lands in his arms, barely alive. She looks up at him and says, "I came back to you again. Do you love me?" Shen Chong no longer hesitates. He tells her yes. He tells her he has been entirely consumed by her since the first moment he saw her, that every moment and every thought has led back to her, and that he loves her without any reservation. She smiles and asks how long he will love her. He says forever. She says she knows she cannot stay with him forever. She asks him to hold her, just for now. Before his arms fully close round her, she is gone. He holds her anyway. He presses his lips to her forehead. He takes her bracelet and slides it onto his own wrist. And then, with grief sitting heavy in his chest, he closes his eyes and calls on Buddha with everything he has. Buddha appears, the ancient. Furious Monkey King is made in an instant. Not destroyed, but transformed. The centuries of bitterness and hatred peeled away, until what remains is a gentle, clear-eyed man. Shen Chong takes Tuan's ring and, with great tenderness, places it on the Monkey King's head like a crown, or perhaps a reminder. In the final moments, Shen Chong returns to his master and tells him everything. His master listens, and something in his expression says he already knows. Shen Chong has walked through fire, faced monsters born of human cruelty and human grief, loved someone and lost her, and come out the other side with a deeper understanding than any book could have given him. He now understands what love truly costs, but his journey is not over. He tells his master he wants to travel to India to study the 22 great scriptures, texts that he believes hold the power to change the world. His master smiles and tells him the road to the west will not be easy. He presents him with 3 companions who will travel at his side and protect him along the way. Shen Chong bows before Buddha and accepts his new title, disciple, and with his 3 companions walking beside him, he turns west and begins the greatest journey of his life.